As I looked over at my wife, with that hellish noise paralyzing every cell inside my head, I realized there was no other way. I was prepared to die. It had been for too long, living with this monster in my life. All the anger, all the anxiety I dealt with every day. None of the medications, sound therapies, pills, doctors, none of it worked. And I couldn't take it any longer. I just wanted the pain to go away. As soon as Emma walked out of the bedroom, I took my Glock 17 out of its hiding place, aimed it at my head, and counted in silence. 3, 2, 1. It breaks my heart to have to share this story with you today, but God has given me a second chance to do so, because it was that moment which forced me to go on a dramatic 18 months journey through the dark side of the multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical empire controlled by elite powers.
And eventually led me to discover a completely natural and inexpensive solution that allows you to finally stop this debilitating noise in your ears. A method so powerful that removes tinnitus, restores your hearing, gives you back your mental clarity, and protects you from migraines, brain fatigue, and even dangerous brain disorders such as dementia and memory loss. Hi, my name is Henry Sanders, and the following story is completely true. In the next 5 minutes, I'll show you the exact location of this debilitating noise, why tinnitus has nothing to do with your ears, but with a little known and yet highly dangerous activity happening inside a tiny part of your brain right now, and how using this easy-to-follow solution is the only way to stop all the buzzing, hushing, whooshing, and ringing inside your ears. Restore your perfect hearing and shield yourself from memory loss, dementia, and other dangerous brain disorders. This method is so incredible. It's been clinically proven to work on anyone, no matter if you're 20 or 80 years old, no matter how bad the ringing in your ears has become, or you've been suffering from tinnitus for 10 weeks or 10 years. And no matter your current medical condition, you'll finally be able to regain your silence without spending a dime on dangerous drugs, life-threatening surgery, or useless sound therapy. Just imagine never having to worry about that hellish noise in your ears. Your days will be blessed and quiet, full of happiness and joy. And every morning when you wake up, you'll hear the world in a clear, beautiful sound. No more having trouble sleeping. No more headaches. Not being able to concentrate or performing the simplest tasks. No more feeling angry and depressed all the time. And no more constantly asking your friends and family to repeat themselves or say, "What?" all the time. You'll be stress and worry-free, and you'll enjoy every moment of your life with your loved ones, just like you were always meant to. Just listen to some of the success stories of this incredible program. People like Sarah D., 49, who says, "Silence, finally! It's quiet, no more buzzing, no more nightmares. I got my life back. I can't remember a time when I felt so good in years." Or James R., 54, who says, "I saw your method and I said, no way. I mean, all the research was there. The science is 100% accurate. And up to this day, I know all this, and yet I still can't believe that after 8 painful years, I no longer have to listen to that constant life-wrecking sound in my head. Thank you a million times. You saved my life." Or Arthur K., 61, who says, "This is unreal. The noise stopped. That hellish noise stopped. Oh God, I can't believe it. Thank you so much. No more stress. Zero anxiety. I know what you've been through, Henry. I truly do. Thanks so much for sharing this with people like me." And these are just a few of the hundreds of messages I receive every day, ever since I posted this method online. Now, if this debilitating disease has been plaguing you for a while, I'm sure you're curious to know how you can stop it and get your normal life back. So let's not waste any more time. Let me tell you my unusual story and how I stumbled upon what could be considered the most important medical discovery of this century. Why the powers that be are pulling every dirty trick in their playbook to prevent you from seeing this. How a private military organization contracted by elite governments and heads of states has been quietly developing the anti-tinnitus solution while keeping it behind closed doors. And how you can use their secret too, to supercharge your brain, surge your memory, and get rid of all the ringing, hushing, and buzzing inside your ears. In just 4 weeks from now. Like I said, my name is Henry Sanders. I'm 53 years old, and I live in a small town near New York City with my wife Dorothy, our son Jimmy, and our daughter Kathy. I work as a research analyst for one of the top pharmaceutical companies and have been so for the last 25 years. My job as a pharmaceutical research analyst is to gather data that helps my colleagues develop new drugs and medicine. During my long career, I've worked closely with some of the world's most renowned doctors and health specialists. This allowed me to witness tremendous medical breakthroughs and incredible treatments being born. Yet nothing matches the tinnitus secret I'm going to share with you. My story starts nearly 6 years ago. This annoying sound of a hissing kettle appeared out of the blue and woke me up from my afternoon nap. It was like a riot in my head and totally disoriented me. I had never had episodes of tinnitus. No ringing, no buzzing, nothing. Every 6 months or a year or so, I'd hear an eerie, high-pitched whine that came out of nowhere and disappeared after a few seconds, but nothing more after that. But back then, when it first started on me, the sound was so unbearable. I couldn't hear the phone ring. I couldn't work. I couldn't sleep. It was a living hell. After 6 weeks of this debilitating noise in my head and sleepless nights, my wife convinced me to go see a doctor. Now, since I had a lot of friends in the pharmaceutical industry, I managed to get an appointment with one of the top specialists in the area. After performing a series of rigorous tests on me, audiograms, blood samples, CT scans, I even saw a neck doctor. They found absolutely nothing wrong with me. Listen, Henry, a lot of people come to me with the same problem. We are facing a tinnitus epidemic. More than 30% of the US population has ringing in their ears. It's just as common as watching the daily news, the doctor said to me. Just go home, relax, and get some sleep. I'll prescribe you some anti-anxiety pills. He then continued, wait, what? He was saying that I should just give up? Then he told me something that shocked me. Tinnitus doesn't come from your ears, Henry. It's not a disease. It's a symptom of something else, a hidden condition. Now, before we move on, you need to pay attention to this. If you're experiencing tinnitus for less than a week, together with fever and symptoms similar to common flu, you need to visit your doctor immediately. You may have meningitis, which is a deadly disease. I'm serious. Don't ignore this. Go see a doctor because this is a life and death matter. Now, if you're anything like me and have been suffering from tinnitus for more than a week, then listen carefully to what I'm about to say, because I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did. Your doctor will never be able to tell you where tinnitus really comes from. They'll keep you there, waiting on hospital hallways like a lab rat, performing tests after tests on you, only to tell you there's nothing physically wrong with you, just like it happened to me. I underwent every blood test, brain scan, and physical examination known to man. They locked me in a soundproof room to check if I was losing my hearing. They checked my head, my neck, my ears. I even gave them urine samples. But one after another, they shrugged their shoulders, like there was nothing they could do to help me. Little did they know back then that while no one could figure out what was wrong, something incredibly dangerous was happening inside my brain, something that put my very own life in danger. But as doctors continued to prescribe me anti-stress pills and recommend useless sound therapies, or even look at me like I was somehow crazy, I finally understood. If I wanted to fix my problem, I was on my own. Now, there was a question that kept tormenting me. If all my tests showed that I'm so healthy, then why am I still hearing this hellish sound? And where in the world does it come from? As soon as I got home, I started reading everything I could find about this disease. Now, I'll admit, what I found annoyed me. Doctors and most of the medical community said that tinnitus comes from long exposure to loud noises. What loud noises? I work behind a desk all day, in the quietest office in the world. I've never been exposed to anything close to loud noise in my entire life. I don't even like listening to loud music. But 6 years went by and the ringing did not stop. Not for a single minute. In fact, it went from annoying to excruciatingly painful. Some mornings it would get so bad, I couldn't stand for more than 10 minutes without the entire room spinning around me. This loud, pulsing, swooshing sound was plaguing me day and night. I was exhausted and frustrated and was losing hope by the day. I gave up on being a father, a husband. I gave up on all my friends. I even began to think it was all imaginary. I thought I was insane. But as time moved on, things got worse. I couldn't focus at all on the simplest things. I couldn't pay attention to my kids talking to me. I couldn't work. I could barely sleep. I had nightmares and severe panic attacks. And there was something else, a weird feeling that something wasn't right with my mind. One morning, I walked to our neighborhood grocery store, and as I entered the store, I completely forgot where I was and why I was there. The manager knew my wife, so he called her to come and pick me up. It was one of the scariest moments of our lives. Seeing me like this, my wife made another appointment with the doctor, hoping they'll know what's wrong with me. But every doctor we went to was as useless as a paper umbrella in a storm. So we decided to spend all our vacation money, and then money we didn't have, on a healing trip around the world. We went to Japan and spoke to some of the best Asian herbal practitioners. Then spent an entire week in Germany in a cutting-edge clinic. We paid thousands of dollars for alternative therapies, more doctors, psychologists, and psychiatrists. I checked every single remedy that I could possibly find. None of them worked, like the one I'm going to share with you in just a minute. I tried sound therapy. That only took things off my mind for a while, and then somehow the noise came back with a vengeance. Then I paid a few $1,000s for a hearing aid that not only didn't help me, but was annoying as hell, and ended up at the bottom of the drawer. I tried behavioral therapies, herbal remedies, acupuncture, Ayurvedic medicine. Some gave me a temporary sense of calm, but had zero effects on the long run. I was exhausted and in a lot of pain that nothing I've done could help me. 8 years went by and my life was a living hell. I was unable to enjoy any moments with my family because of this terrible noise, because of the constant nerve-wracking sound in my head. And the absolute worst part was when I went to sleep and the bedroom was silent. I hated it with all my being. My life was ruled by this tiny little monster in my head. And it never stopped. It tormented me day and night. Even looking in Dorothy, Jimmy, and Kathy's eyes, I didn't want to live like this anymore. I was going to end it soon. I know it was a terrible mistake, and I know I was weak and a horrible human being for making my family go through this. On that dark morning, I took my old power drill, aimed it at my head, and screamed in horror at my wife and kids. But as I watched Jimmy and Kathy looking at me horrified about what their father was about to do, I dropped that tool on the floor and stormed out of the house. I spent 2 weeks in the Manhattan Hospital for the Insane, at my own will. But after my wife and kids begged me to stop putting them through that nightmare, I decided to return home. Now, I'll never forgive myself for having my family go through all this, but the pain was truly unbearable. And after all these years, I still had found nothing that could help me. It seemed that modern medicine had just abandoned all hope, leaving millions of suffering people at the mercy of this debilitating disease. Tinnitus affects nearly 50 million people in the US alone, and more than 600 million worldwide. That's almost 10% of the total population of this planet. We're facing an uprising epidemic, and yet Big Pharma leaves its victims with little to zero support and even fewer options. It made me mad just to think of the billions of dollars spent every year by these greedy pharma corporations to promote their shady practices. Yet not a single dime on finding a solution for this debilitating disease. And to think I was working for them. I spent day and night researching on every corner of the internet. I read every major medical journal and every publication related to tinnitus that went back at least 5 years. I interviewed doctors, medical experts, professors, and even their students. Now, God truly has a plan for us all, because what I came across the very next morning was going to completely change my life and the life of over 122,000 men and women who, just like me, got their dignity and silence back. The first breakthrough study came from the American Neurological Association. These respectable scientists asked themselves if it's possible that tinnitus could come from a different place than the ear. So in order to confirm their theory, they used magnetic stimulation on patients with chronic tinnitus to jam specific areas of the brain in order to see if the noise would stop. Through their experiments, it clearly showed that tinnitus has nothing to do with the ears, but in fact, it goes way beyond that. Inside the brain. Now, I was extremely puzzled, but I still didn't understand why people with perfectly healthy ears still hear this debilitating noise in their head. So I kept looking. Some studies said that a possible problem that's causing tinnitus is found inside the part of the brain that specializes in hearing, called the auditory cortex. They said that when the auditory nerves become damaged, they cause the ears to literally go haywire and emit strange sounds on different frequencies. But something didn't make sense. If tinnitus is nothing more than a sound frequency in your ears, why do deaf people or people who've been losing their hearing still hear it? That's when I stumbled upon a famous study made by these two brilliant scientists, Heller and Bergman, back in 1953. They put 80 people in a soundproof room for 5 minutes each to stand there in complete silence without being told the actual purpose of the project. Every single one of the test subjects, including all deaf people, reported hearing things and strange sounds exactly like tinnitus. Since then, many peer studies have clearly proven that deaf people are more likely to have tinnitus and hear tinnitus-related noise. But where does this debilitating sound come from? Since deaf people can still hear it, it can't be related to the ears, I said to myself. I was soon about to make the discovery that would change my entire life. The next morning, I stumbled upon a study that made it all clear and made me understand what exactly happens inside your brain when you have tinnitus. It was an extensive paper published by researchers at the University of Buffalo. Now, let me tell you, when I looked over their study, I felt like I was on a scene from Back to the Future 2. They used positron emission tomography, or PET, to trace tinnitus to its origins. What they did is they injected patients with a substance that acts like a tracer to be able to follow these phantom sounds, and the results were absolutely staggering. These researchers were able to pinpoint the origin of tinnitus activity to specific sites in the brain that went far beyond the part of the brain that specializes in hearing. Now, here's where things get very interesting. Researchers from the University of Arizona picked up on these brilliant scientists' work, and they found that the real cause of tinnitus is due to inflammation in the same specific areas of the brain. Simply said, the buzzing, whooshing, roaring, hissing inside your head is caused because your brain tissue becomes inflamed and causes your brain's nerve cells to vibrate. You see, your central nervous system is made out of 5 major brain networks. These networks communicate between themselves with the help of synapses, which are basically physical communication pathways. When the tissue in one of your brain networks becomes inflamed, they fail to send the messages to your other parts of the brain via your synapses. This causes your brain to send SOS signals to your ears. That translates inside your head as buzzing, hissing, roaring, ringing, or whooshing in one or both of your ears. Now let me ask you something. Do you know why you sometimes hear a high-pitched sound when you're over the phone or when your TV signal is weak? It's almost like the same buzzing you hear inside your head. It signals something may be wrong with the communication lines. Well, this may be a strange coincidence, but in fact, it's a sign that something is very wrong inside your brain. Every buzzing, whooshing, wheezing sound in your head means that the inflammation in your brain is getting worse and worse. That your brain's nervous tissue is damaged and weakened and needs to be fixed immediately before every nerve cell inside your head dies and your brain shuts down completely. The debilitating sound in your head is nothing else than your brain's desperate cry for help. With every word I read, it made my blood run cold. Severe brain disorders such as dementia, amnesia, deadly memory disease, they all start with some sort of inflammation on your brain. As I sat there, surrounded by endless piles of books, medical journals, and clinical studies reports, I had a choice to make. I would either give up, and my brain would be toast in a few years, or I would stop sobbing and find a way to fight this disease once and for all. For me and for the millions of tinnitus sufferers out there who've been tormented enough by this debilitating disease, and I for sure didn't want to sit back and watch as all my precious memories fade away without doing anything to stop this. So I began making more calls to everyone I knew. I realized that all this time I was in a better position to find an answer than anyone else I knew. Not only did I have access to medical research that few people had, but during my long career, I had met a lot of world-renowned scientists and doctors. And since my employer was generating well over $1 billion in annual sales, I had access to all of these experts. There had to be someone that could help me, and I was going to find out. I spent an entire day interviewing some of the smartest brains in the medical world, and I'll admit, most of the advice I received wasn't new to me. Now, out of all the doctors, scientists, chemists, and professors I called, there was one person in particular who was able to provide me with real answers. The things he said, up to this day, when I know it's 100% true and backed by science, I still ask myself, how is this possible? His name was Dr. Thomas Peterson. Now, Dr. Peterson was a genius in every sense of the word, and I really mean genius. His IQ was 158, just 2 points below that which Albert Einstein had. He was part of the Prometheus Society, an organization similar to Mensa. Now, you may be familiar with Mensa, the oldest and largest IQ organization in the world, with 3% of the world's population as members. You see, the Prometheus Society is similar to Mensa, but much more restrictive. While 1 in 50 people pass the Mensa entry test, just 1 in 30,000 people are able to become part of the Prometheus Society. To be honest, I was a little nervous about meeting him since he was one of the doctors that looked over my case when I checked myself in at the Manhattan State Hospital. But when Dr. Peterson said he could help me fix my tinnitus, all my fears vanished. With a low-toned voice, he suggested we should meet at his home a few miles outside the city. It seemed a little odd, but to be honest, I didn't really pay attention to it. As we walked in his garden, Dr. Peterson started unveiling the secret, and to be honest, it sent shivers down my spine. He said that 6 years ago, he was approached by one of the most powerful private military contractors in the world, a company whose annual revenue is well over $2 billion. They promised him a huge paycheck and a chance to work with some of the most brilliant minds of the 21st century to solve a mystery that no one dared to. An ultra-secret project with one purpose in mind: to give soldiers mental superpowers and increase their combat abilities by turbo boosting their brains. To do that, they had to tackle a few problems. First, such as memory loss, brain damage, tinnitus, and other related brain disorders. All these were highly common among soldiers who've been on the battlefield. They called it the Cognitive Learning and Enhancement for Advanced Rehabilitation Project, or CLEAR. As I listened to Dr. Peterson, I quickly understood the reason behind this. Just imagine if you had some of the bravest, most powerful men and women on the planet. Some of them get injured. Brain disorders, battle trauma, and especially tinnitus are extremely common among soldiers. So why would you want to allow something as debilitating as tinnitus to make them useless in the battlefield? You want to keep their brains in perfect condition and 100% functional. You want their memory strong and their speed of reaction as fast as a speeding bullet. So what do? You hire the smartest people on the planet to help you figure out what no one else can. A formula that not only stops tinnitus, but also improves memory, focus, and prevents long-term cognitive damage. Take a look at this, said Dr. Peterson, handing me the folder he was holding in his right hand. As I looked over the files, I stood there in shock. It was the exact formula they had developed after 4 years of extensive work and closed-door clinical studies. 184 pages of documented research, trial results, and confessions from people who've been using it. It had the capability to stop tinnitus, boost memory and focus, even give crystal clear hearing to people who have been suffering from hearing loss, and shield the brain against dementia, memory loss, and other deadly brain disorders. It's only logical they'd want to keep this as a secret, since it gives them crucial leverage over their competitors, Dr. Peterson said to me. Wars are won with the mind first, not with weapons, the doctor concluded. But as he confessed to me, every time Dr. Peterson saw another case of tinnitus, he felt extremely guilty. He knew this project was never meant to be seen by the public eye. It was supposed to be available only for a small number of people: private military corporations, contractors, elite government officials, and heads of state. People who can either pull enough strings or pay obscene amounts of money to gain access to it. Then use it at their own discretion to create super soldiers. These people never shed a single tear thinking of the suffering of the millions of people, or the fact that this debilitating disease affects 1 in 10 Americans. Innocent men and women who've done nothing wrong, on a brink of mental collapse, having to live with this noise of hell everywhere they go, even in their sleep. Why aren't they releasing this to the public? I shouted at Dr. Peterson. But then he calmly explained it to me. In the US alone, the tinnitus and hearing industry is worth a staggering $20 billion. That's billion with a B in it. That doesn't even include the shady drug manufacturers that promise to increase your brain power, the anti-anxiety and depression pills, or the ones for headaches. Why would they want to release a quick fix when they can profit for years on the frustration and humiliation of millions? Even if they eventually decide to release the solution, it will either be available only to the elites, or it will cost insane amounts of money that insurance won't cover. These people knew it very well, and I finally understood. I understood why, even though hundreds of millions suffer from tinnitus, the shady big pharma hasn't moved a finger to help them. Why every clinical study that showed promising results against the terrible disease was either halted or suppressed by the powers that be. and why not a single doctor followed up or said anything after I emailed them the two undeniable research papers that clearly show the real root cause of tinnitus. Now, let me tell you why this is the most incredible anti-tinnitus formula ever invented. Why the nutrients it contains are so incredibly powerful. They not only clear the noise inside your head, but also nourish your brain and protect you from a brain disease. Over a dozen independent labs across 2 continents have tested this program on 5,300 men and women from 6 countries to make sure this program works for everyone, no matter their age, gender, or overall health. Lab tests have shown us that in order for this program to be efficient, all the ingredients have to be mixed in very exact quantities, following an exact formula. Here's a short to the point explanation of how this works. Step 1. The powerful nutrient blend squashes your brain inflammation. Remember, the root cause of your tinnitus is due to a brain inflammation that's damaging your nerve cells and causes you to hear that hellish noise. Inside the classified project files, we found that the only way to fix this is to add skullcap and hawthorn. The first thing you notice after these nutrients take into effect is the immediate lowering of your tinnitus volume. And that's because both of these miracle plants contain powerful nutrients that, mixed together, eliminate inflammation directly on your nerve cells, and so they stop vibrating, which results in silence of your mind and ears. And while there are over 200 species of skullcap and over 1,000 species of hawthorn, only a few specific ones can stop the inflammatory process on your brain. Step 2, the noise in your ears vanishes. Finally, once inflammation is eliminated from your brain, your nerve cells start to heal and regain their strength, as well as your neuronal networks rejuvenate. This is due to 3 more star ingredients added. The first one is oat straw. Oat straw not only puts an end to your tinnitus, but also helps your brain function better, improves your memory and focus. The second one is mucuna pruriens, which acts like a guardian and helps prevent any further inflammation on your brain. And the third one is rhodiola. This plant is extremely powerful because it also strengthens your brain's neurotransmitters and improves brain function. Step 3, your mind and brain become sharper and rejuvenated. This is where good things start to happen. Vitamin B1, B2, B6, and potassium act like steroids for your brain. As you get older, your brain gets smaller, but these 4 ingredients supercharge your brain, strengthen your nerve cells, and gives your mind clarity and focus. Your memory becomes sharper, better, clearer. Your brain is now 10 years younger since tinnitus is out of your system. Step 4, you shield yourself against tinnitus and memory disease. Now, the entire purpose of this is not only to set people free from tinnitus, but also protect their brain against this debilitating disease on a long-term basis, and also shield it against memory loss or other brain-related diseases. To achieve that, they added gamma-aminobutyric acid, or GABA, an extremely powerful neurotransmitter essential for the human body. Studies have directly linked tinnitus to low levels of GABA. Taken in the right quantities and with the exact combination of nutrients, which are only found in this formula, GABA will keep you safe against tinnitus and memory-related disease in the future. Then they added L-theanine, which works together with the GABA neurotransmitter to supercharge your brain, your memory, focus, and energy levels, and also to keep you safe against memory disorders like memory loss, amnesia, dementia, and other deadly brain diseases. Step 5, your entire health and well-being start to improve in just a few weeks. You'll be tinnitus-free. Your hearing will be sharp. Your mind will be quiet and peaceful, and you'll be protected against deadly brain disorders. And because this blend is so powerful, every single cell of your body will start to transform and rejuvenate. Ashwagandha, another miracle plant used, not only helps you break free from tinnitus, but also reduces blood sugar levels, stress, and anxiety. Chamomile also boosts your immune system, reduces stress, nourishes your skin, and prevents bone loss. Mucuna pruriens helps with your brain, heart, lungs, and it has the magical ability to improve motivation and well-being. And the list goes on for 28 incredible ingredients, all perfectly combined in the right quantities so that they destroy tinnitus in a matter of weeks. Now, what's extremely important about this formula is it only works in this exact formula and quantities. Its perfect blend mixture helps your brain absorb all these nutrients from the moment they enter your body. Dr. Peterson confessed to me that he just couldn't live with himself if we don't share this formula with anyone out there. And he was prepared to risk his own freedom to do it. We both were. So he helped me gain temporary access to all the classified files from this project. It was exactly what I needed to get the exact details of this formula and the way it works. We started working on it right away. The clear project files stated that in order for this formula to work, the ingredients had to come from selected locations and their quality and purity had to be extremely high. Now, this part was really hard. It's unbelievable how many people out there are just trying to make a quick buck by selling low-quality, cheap knockoffs. We saw it with our own eyes. Because after testing, every single ingredient that came to our lab, every herb, plant, vitamin, and mineral, we realized that almost all of them were filled with added chemicals, which gave no natural healing properties whatsoever. Dr. Peterson used all his connections to find us only certified manufacturers and verified suppliers to make sure our recipe is 100% pure and all the ingredients are natural and of the highest possible quality. It was an excruciating job. We worked relentlessly, day and night at the lab, and at many times we would sleep there through the night. For this to be 100% effective, it had to meet 3 criteria. First, that it would work for anyone, no matter how bad their tinnitus was. Second, it needed to work on its own, without you having to go to the doctor or spend money on any other therapies. And third, it had to shield your brain, not just against tinnitus, but also memory-related deadly diseases. After several weeks, including many days when we wouldn't even see our families, we finally did it. Tears ran down my cheeks as I held in my hands the pills that would finally set me free from the nightmare I've been living for almost 8 years. All we needed was a patient to put it to a test. And of course, that patient was me. Now, for the first few days, I didn't feel any major improvements. Maybe just that my focus was better and most of my headaches were gone. But a few days later, something amazing happened. It was almost like the ringing was somehow losing strength. Then as days went by, it went from excruciatingly annoying to moderate and then to mild. Now, shortly after that, I could barely hear the noise and all my stress and anxiety were gone. By the 4th week, something incredible happened. The ringing was completely gone and all the other tinnitus symptoms were also gone with it. I had no more headaches, no more dizziness. It was like my brain was reborn. I will never forget that first moment of silence after so many years. I cried like a child, holding those 2 pills in my hand. Now, even though my tinnitus was gone, I wanted to see what would happen if I took the pills for a little longer. By the 5th week, I could feel a surge of energy in my brain. The good kind. It was like my mind was improving. I could solve difficult puzzles with my kids. My memory was crystal clear. I could easily focus. I remember sleeping like a baby that night and every night after. That beautiful feeling of silence was something I never thought I would be so appreciative of in my entire life. It was like a miracle. And I knew I had to share this formula with more people. So we gathered a group of 40 men and women, all tinnitus sufferers from mild to severe, and some with hearing loss, and even with memory-related problems. Dr. Peterson prepared the formula, gave it to all participants, and instructed them to follow the program for 30 days. Now I expected to see some results. But I sure didn't expect to see them coming in that fast. Not long after, our phones were ringing like crazy with people crying over the phone, telling us how their ringing was getting less intense by the day. 100% of the participants were tinnitus-free in 4 weeks. Each one of them reported a surge in their brain functions. Their memory was better. Their focus was significantly improved. None of them experienced any more headaches or dizziness. In fact, many of the senior folks said that they could now hear better, and some were able to get rid of their hearing aids. It was definitely an unexpected benefit. The formula was like a super cocktail for the brain. Now, by the end of week 8, something happened that left me and Dr. Peterson in awe. One more person called us. He said he kept taking the pills, curious himself on what will happen. When he went to see his physician, as he gave him the test results, it was showing that he had his onset memory loss diagnosis revoked. It was incredible. Seeing that, we knew we had a limited time frame to share this with everyone. So Dr. Peterson and I decided to produce this supplement and share it with as many people as possible. People who want nothing more than to escape from the tinnitus nightmare. We called it Silencil, a 100% natural blend that goes directly to the root cause of your tinnitus, the inflammation of your brain tissue and nerve cells. We only source the purest, highest quality ingredients, the perfect combination of 28 carefully mixed plant extracts and vitamins into an easy to swallow capsule to take once a day. We only produce Silencil in our FDA-approved facility using the latest technology and equipment. Every capsule of Silencil is non-GMO and safe. This protocol is very easy to follow and is also diabetic friendly. It does not require any restrictive diets, and it does not interfere with other supplements you might be taking. This formula is more powerful than anything else in the world because it doesn't just eliminate that ringing in your ears. It also restores your hearing, strengthens your brain cells, and helps you shield yourself against memory-related diseases. It also supports a healthy heart, improves your memory and focus, boosts your energy levels, and so much more. So you'll also be improving your overall health at the same time. By now, you're probably wondering how you can get your hands on this incredible anti-tinnitus super pill. You see, it's hard for me to answer this question. When we created Silencil, we knew that in order for this formula to work, we had to source only the highest quality ingredients. We looked over 4 continents from over 24 providers until we found the right companies to work with. This makes our ability to keep high stocks on hand almost impossible. And then there's all the people who've used Silencil and experienced eliminated tinnitus from their lives and rejuvenated their brain. They're all coming back for more, for themselves and for their families and best friends. They want to make sure we don't run out of Silencil and they're left out. This makes our stock run out in days every time a new shipment arrives. Plus, we're only able to produce Silencil in small quantities since finding high-quality ingredients is extremely hard. This is the only way to make sure we keep the formula 100% effective. Since you're here, your package is reserved. But if you leave this page, we cannot guarantee supply when you come back. Now, you should also know that Silencil is extremely easy to use. All it takes is 10 seconds per day of your time and a big glass of water to take 1 pill each day for at least 30 days. Of course, it really depends on what your actual goal is. If you want to decrease the risk of memory-related disorders and nourish your brain cells while you rejuvenate your brain, depending on the level of neuroinflammation, this could take around 80 days, which means 3 bottles of Silencil. Or if you want to be completely safe, you should know that 98% of the people who contact us go with this option. We recommend the 6-bottle package. This will help you supercharge your brain, squash the inflammation on your nerve cells, eliminate tinnitus, and protect you from memory loss, amnesia, or other deadly memory-related diseases. Of course, we cannot estimate the level of inflammation in your brain. That's why, after analyzing the results of over 122,000 men and women who've successfully used this program, we recommend taking at least 3 bottles of Silencil over a period of 60 days. And if you want to be completely safe and don't take any chances, we recommend you take at least 6 bottles or more over a period of 120 days. This should be enough to 100% rejuvenate your brain and shield you from other memory-related diseases, as well as tinnitus. This formula has already changed the lives of over 122,000 people from all over the world, and that number is increasing by the day. Sam W., 47, from California says, I was perfectly happy, living a happy, quiet life until tinnitus came along. That hellish buzz tormented me for 8 years until I saw your video. Now, I admit I was extremely skeptical at first. I've been looking for a way out of this disease for years, and now you're telling me you found it? Seriously? But my wife convinced me I should give it a try after she looked over your research and saw its accuracy. Now, I have 3 words for you. No more tinnitus. I'm free at last. No more hushing, no more wheezing, no more no more pain, anxiety, and panic attacks. Henry, you're an angel. Thank you so much. Miranda C., 61, from Illinois says, I would have given anything for the magic pill that would stop this, but I didn't have to because I found this website. I'm telling you, Henry, this is truly a miracle. I can't remember a time since my mind has been so quiet, my entire body so calm, and my overall health so good. I could focus better. My memory is sharper than ever. It's like I gained superpowers, and it's only the 2nd month since I've started taking these pills. I'm sending this to all my friends. Everyone deserves to know, and not just the ones that suffer from tinnitus, because this pill does so much more for your brain. Gregory T., 54, from Texas says, I tried sound therapy, acupuncture, stress relief exercises. My wife even bought me one of those ugly hearing aids to cover the noise, but it was so annoying. I threw it in the garbage the next week. My life was a living hell. I could barely eat, sleep, work, talk to my wife and kids. I had constant headaches and dizziness. Not anymore. My days are quiet now and it feels like bliss. Headaches are gone. So is my fear of memory loss. In fact, I feel my brain is getting sharper every day. I gave this to my older brother too. He doesn't have tinnitus, but he takes them for his memory. I think everyone should. Stories like these are incredible, and they're merely a small number of the hundreds of emails we receive every day. Tens of thousands have already regained their peace of mind with this protocol. And all it took was just one pill per day. It's been proven beyond any shadow of a doubt that there's no other anti-tinnitus formula as powerful as Silencil. Now you need to consider your options here. You can continue living your life the way it is right now, tormented by this hellish noise day and night, spend thousands on therapies that only provide temporary relief and eventually know they'll wear off. Go to countless doctors that will continue to prescribe you meds for dizziness, vertigo, fatigue, stomach problems, and whatnot. Doctors that blatantly ignore the root cause of your tinnitus, which is an insidious inflammation of your brain cells and tissue. Or maybe take the high road and get yourself one of those annoying hearing aids meant to mask the sound of tinnitus. And after a week or two, once you see how debilitating it feels wearing it, you'll end up throwing it in the garbage. Then once you see that, after all the things that you've tried, nothing seems to work, you decide to pay your doctor a visit again, which not only thinks you're stressed out or even crazy, but starts prescribing you antidepressants to make you forget about your problem, which in fact turn you into a zombie with no will to live. Exhausted and hopeless, you look into other alternatives like acupuncture or herbal extracts that are meant to temporarily bring a sense of calm and relaxation. But eventually, everything else will turn out to be a big waste of time and money. And nothing will work even remotely close to Silencil, which has the power to eliminate tinnitus from your head and ears in just a few weeks from now and keep you safe from memory-related disorders. Now, looking at the incredible benefits that Silencil has, you understand why I initially wanted to sell this program for $297. I could have easily done that, and it would still be a total steal. The truth is, neither myself nor Dr. Peterson are here for the money. We're here to make an impact and to help as many people as possible to get rid of the debilitating disease that's been following them day and night. Sure, we could have just gone for the easy way and accepted Big Pharma's greedy money. Let them suppress one more incredible solution and probably retire with all their riches on some exotic island. But here's the thing. I know how horrible it is to live with this constant noise inside your head. And I don't want anyone else to go through what I've gone through myself, because this terrible disease can ruin your life, even though you can't see it coming. Now, I can't change the past, but I can give you the most powerful weapon in the world to change your future. The key to eradicate tinnitus from your life. And because I want price to be the last thing you consider when taking advantage of this incredible solution, today you have the chance to get rid of that life-wrecking noise in your head, restore your hearing, and protect yourself against memory loss, dementia, and brain shrinkage for just $69. Only if you act today through this website, and because I know how it feels to be overpowered by this monster inside your head day and night relentlessly. After talking to our manufacturing partner, they allowed us to give a discount on the 6-bottle package of Silencil. So while you're on this page right now and select your package in the next 30 minutes, you can get Silencil for only $49 per bottle and also get free shipping from us for as long as we have the formula in stock. So select the 6-bottle package or any other package you want. See if Silencil is currently available and join the 122,000 happy men and women who have now escaped from the shackles of this debilitating disease. Consider this just a small but powerful investment that you can do for yourself today. Tens of thousands of people are already living proof that Silencil will absolutely change your life. It's safe to say that a bottle of Silencil will clear the noise in your ears. 3 bottles of Silencil will also strengthen your nerve cells, nourish your brain, and get rid of those annoying headaches and lack of sleep. But there's a reason why 98% of our users choose the 6-bottle package. Once you go with the 6-bottle package, in just 6 months from now, you'll restore your mental health. You'll shield yourself from memory disease like dementia, memory loss, and brain shrinkage. And it will make you immune against tinnitus. Many years will pass from now, and your mind will stay as sharp as in your youth. You'll be able to enjoy every moment of beautiful silence, even in your late 90s. Now, if this sounds good to you, look below the video now. Make the right choice for you and your loved ones, and choose the package you want below immediately. Once you order, you'll be taken to a secure checkout page where you can fill out your payment details using a credit or debit card. Our checkout is 100% secure. We use the same technology that all the major banks do, and the entire process takes less than a minute. Shortly after you fill in your information and confirm your order, your package of Silencil will be shipped to your doorstep. And remember, you get free shipping with every purchase you made today, but you have to hurry. It's the only way to secure your order while the supply lasts. You risk absolutely nothing because you are covered by our 60-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. It's simple. Select one of the packages and hit the buy button below. Try this powerful formula. Watch as your ringing fades away until it's completely gone, and see how good it feels to enjoy the beauty of silence once again. See how amazing it is to be stress and worry-free, to regain your happiness and joy for life. No more headaches, no more dizziness, no more lack of focus, no more nightmares. Just simple, beautiful silence that you regain, as the other 122,000 men and women from all over the world have done before you. Enjoy all this. And after 2 months, if you're not satisfied with the results, even if you've used up the entire bottle, send us an email and we'll refund every penny back. No questions asked. You have 2 full months to try Silencil and see the amazing results for yourself. All you have to do is claim your discount, select one of the packages below, and take advantage of this amazing deal. We'll cover 100% of the shipping costs and make sure Silencil is delivered straight to your doorstep in just a few days from now. But I urge you to act now. We are currently overwhelmed by the number of orders, which makes our ability to restock extremely hard. Since we only work with the highest quality ingredients, when you choose the 3 or the 6-bottle package, you get Silencil for even cheaper. Now, I'm not sure how long it's going to last. We might be forced to raise the price very soon. So please, do not miss your chance to get this amazing formula at an even lower price. Select the 3 or the 6-bottle package or any other package you want and break free from tinnitus today. Be another success story that Silencil brings to the world. Now, there's something else you should know. I've made a lot of enemies by posting this protocol online. Dr. Peterson has already started receiving threats of litigation if we don't take this down immediately. So the next time my phone rings and we're forced to take this protocol down, I'm afraid I won't be able to help you anymore. Because here's the thing. Big Pharma's strategy is to keep you their customer for life. Otherwise, they would have already offered the solution for something as common as tinnitus. Almost 600 million people worldwide suffer from this debilitating disease, and it's not like it has been around for only a few years. But why offer a solution when you can keep milking the cash cow for years? So you can imagine they will pull every dirty trick in the book to keep you from seeing this. That's why I urge you to take advantage of this while you still can. And even if you somehow feel you've tried everything and don't know what to say, just picture this. In a year from now, when you look at your life, what's going to change? You'll remember this moment. And when you try to come back, this website will be off for good. The truth is, you only have 2 options. Option number 1, you can leave this page and act like nothing's happened. Ignore this powerful solution, all the groundbreaking research, and the tens of thousands of men and women standing behind its incredible results. Continue to be trapped with this debilitating noise inside your head. Waste thousands of dollars on useless therapies that ultimately fail you one by one. Knowing that you'll never get rid of this disease this way. This may sound familiar, and I think you already know what will happen if you go down this road. You can feel it growing inside of you. The hopelessness, the exhaustion, the endless anger, stress, and anxiety. The thought of living with a monster inside your head that you can't get out. No matter what you do, I know you don't want that. But why go down this road? when you can choose option number 2? And let's be honest, it's the only one worth considering. You can stop the debilitating sound that's been ruining your life and click on the buy button below now. Secure your order and be one more success story that Silencil brings into the world. So go ahead and select your package. Then hit the button below. You are 100% covered by our 60-day money-back guarantee, which means you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Try Silencil and see the amazing benefits it has to offer. Still here? No worries. I understand, especially given the incredible tinnitus secret that I've revealed in this presentation. So let's answer some of the most important questions we receive about Silencil, so you can go ahead and hit the buy button below with full confidence. Question 1, how does Silencil work? Clinical studies have shown that chronic tinnitus is not related to your ears, but with an insidious inflammation happening inside your brain at this very moment. Sadly, brain-related diseases like memory loss, dementia, and many other dangerous ones start with this inflammation. Your tinnitus is the red flag of something much worse that's yet to come. Here's a short to the point explanation on how this formula works. Step 1. Selected nutrients squash your brain inflammation. Remember, the root cause of your tinnitus is due to a brain inflammation that's damaging your nerve cells and causes you to hear that hellish noise. Inside the classified project files, we found that the only way to achieve this is to add skullcap and hawthorn. The first thing you notice after these nutrients take into effect is the immediate lowering of your tinnitus. And that's because both of these miracle plants contain powerful nutrients that mixed together eliminate inflammation directly on your nerve cells, and so they stop vibrating, which results in total silence of your mind and ears. And while there are over 200 species of skullcap and over 1,000 species of hawthorn, only a few specific ones can stop the inflammatory process on your brain. Step 2, the noise in your ears vanishes, finally, once inflammation is eliminated from your brain. Your nerve cells start to heal and regain their strength, as well as your neuronal networks rejuvenate. Step 3, your mind and brain become sharper and rejuvenated. This is where good things start to happen. Your focus and memory become sharper, better, clearer. Your brain is now 10 years younger since there's tinnitus is out of your system. Step 4, you shield yourself against tinnitus and memory disease. Now, the entire purpose of this project is not only to set people free from tinnitus, but also protect their brain against this debilitating disease on a long run, and also shield it against memory loss or other brain-related diseases. Step 5, your entire health and well-being start to improve. In just a few weeks, you'll be tinnitus-free. Your hearing will be sharp, your mind will be quiet and peaceful, and you'll be protected against deadly brain disorders. And because this blend is so powerful, every single cell of your body will start to transform and rejuvenate. Question 2, can I take Silencil if I have allergies or if I'm currently taking other supplements? We created Silencil for all ages and medical conditions. The only side effect you'll see while using it will be the blissful silence you'll be able to enjoy every minute you live. Silencil is non-invasive, risk-free, does not require any restrictive diets, and does not interfere with other supplements you may take. Silencil addresses the real root cause of your tinnitus in an extremely safe and natural way and nourishes your brain so that you can stay protected against memory-related diseases. You should also know that Silencil is produced using high-quality ingredients in an FDA-approved facility using the latest technology and equipment. This is why we can confidently say that Silencil is safe to use. Now, as always, if you suffer from allergies or other certain medical conditions at this very moment, we strongly advise that you consult with your doctor first. Question 4, why haven't I heard about this program before? This is the second time I'm posting this video online. There are some very powerful people working for the multi-billion-dollar pharma industry which are trying to prevent tinnitus sufferers from seeing this video. They've been threatening me with expensive lawsuits ever since I released this information to the public because they know what this formula will do to their bottom lines. Luckily, this video can still be shared via email and WhatsApp. They've been fighting to ban this website from all the major mainstream media websites. So please be warned. I don't know how much longer I can keep it online. Tomorrow, When you come back, it might be gone. Question 5. Who is this program for? Silencil is for people of all ages from 20 to 80 years old. This formula is 100% natural, non-invasive, and helps remove inflammation on your brain tissue and cells so you can easily and effortlessly break free from tinnitus. This program is also good for people who've been experiencing early onset memory loss. As I told you before, tinnitus isn't actually a condition itself. It's a symptom caused by inflammation inside your brain, something that must not be ignored because it's the alert signal that your brain sends that something else much more dangerous is happening. When you deal with the real cause of tinnitus, you deal with any existing brain-related diseases. Question 6. How long does it take until I see the results? The beauty of this program is that it starts working immediately. Since you've taken your first capsule of Silencil, the battle against tinnitus has begun. Your tinnitus will become less and less intense as days go by until it's completely gone in just a few weeks. Question 7. Can you tell me about that risk-free guarantee again? The more results we see, the more confident we are that Silencil will work for you. To put your mind at ease, we decided to give a risk-free 60-day money-back guarantee for every bottle of Silencil. You have 2 full months to enjoy the amazing benefits of this formula. If you decide Silencil is not for you, you can return what you haven't used in full for an immediate, no questions asked refund. It should come as no surprise if I thought this was not going to work. I would not be offering such a deal. But the 122,000 men and women who have tried it are now living proof that Silencil works for anyone, and it will work for you too. Question 8. How long will this still be available? I honestly don't know. History has shown us that the multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical conglomerates are not going to sit aside and watch as their margins turn to dust. They'll spend as much money as they need in legal fees to shut down this site. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Wouldn't you pay a fancy lawyer $1 million when you know it will save you $50 million per year in profits? That being said, this may be your last chance to get Silencil. The choice is up to you, of course, but I wouldn't wait until it's already too late and this website is removed from the internet. Also, you should know that the only place you can get Silencil is right here on this page. Question 9. How do I get Silencil? It's simple. Select one of the packages below and hit the Buy Now button. Try the program for 2 full months. And if you're unhappy with the results, send me an email and I'll make sure you get your investment back. I'm extremely confident that you won't be asking for a refund because this program has proven to work for people of all ages. And no matter for how long they've been suffering from tinnitus. So go ahead, click the button below and be another story that Silencil brings to the world.